Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Conservative Corner. I'm Elliot Margolis, and I'm here with my special guest today, Euplio Rick Marciano, who should be on the City Council. Didn't quite make it, but with any kind of luck, Rick, next time.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, we need you on the council. We need that kind of a voice on the council. You know, the only way that the right issues get taken care of is when somebody talks one side, somebody talks the other side, and somewhere in the middle is a compromise. You don't see compromise in Washington now, but I'd like to see it in Beverly. And we need people like you to bring the other side in so that we can make the right decision, because it seems to me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, you know as much about Beverly as anybody, we're not making a lot of right decisions. I mean, if, you know, we sold the old high school for, what was it? About
$600,000.
$600,000, okay? That building had to be worth millions. Then we went and we bought a building downtown, the dollar store building, was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dollar store, we paid $7,399,000.
How does that work? I mean, we pay $7 million for a relatively small building, and what are we doing with it? And then we get only $600,000 for that huge high school?
Yes.
Who's making these decisions?
Well, evidently it's the city. The one positive on that is this, it's senior housing. So that's a huge, huge plus, because it's, you know, the seniors right now, it's catastrophic. They need housing. And that's what I wanted to see happen to every school that we sold. Should have went to Beverly Housing Authority, which is the state. They should have taken those over. Should have been all senior housing.
Yeah, and it's good that it's senior housing, but the city should have made a few extra dollars out of the $600,000.
Oh, yes, there's no doubt.
That's Cahill.
Yes.
See, but Cahill has this philosophy that, well, if we increase the taxes X number of dollars, it only means a cup of coffee a day. Well, you know, nowadays, a cup of coffee is $3.
Yes.
$3 a day is $21 a week times 52 weeks. People who are on fixed incomes, that's a lot of money.
Yes.
So a cup of coffee is not the answer.
It all adds up.
It does.
Every little bit. And I think this past election, you know, I thank everybody that voted for me, but they're understanding that they're taking too much right now. They have plenty to work with, in my opinion. So they're taking advantage of our taxes. And again, the more they take away from us, that's less we have to spend on the local economy. That business that sells a $3 coffee, they need that $3. When that's taken away, that's all adds up. It's out of the economy.
Well, you know, people don't seem to understand, politicians in particular, don't seem to understand the consequences of their actions, okay? Well, it's only a cup of coffee, but that does add up. That means they can't buy something else. That hurts the economy. Taxes go up. Every year, taxes go up 2.5% in the city. They don't have to go up 2.5%, but Cahill's never found a dollar he didn't want to spend, and particularly when it's not his money.
Yes.
So, you know, that you own a single-family home, your taxes start here, all of a sudden they're up to here. How can you afford to do that and get a single-bedroom apartment to rent?
Right.
The prices are crazy now.
Oh, it's for a one bedroom in Beverly, they're paying $2,550 is what Beverly Housing Authority or Essex County is paying. And it's not realistic.
It's not, because most people don't make that in Social Security.
Right. Oh, exactly.
You know, because because we have a congressman who doesn't seem to understand what's going on either. Mm-hmm. When in 1935, when the Social Security bill came in, the death benefit was like $300. Okay, so, but it probably costs you about $300 to bury somebody. Okay, well, you know what the death benefit is today?
450?
It's the same as it was back in 1935.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
you know,
That's-
Congress doesn't care about us.
Right.
Seth Moulton certainly doesn't care about us. The city, Cahill doesn't care about us. What can we do? Look at the education. We think that the more money we spend on education, the better education is. What do you think of that?
No, it depends on the individual. What they're teaching in the schools is a priority. More money doesn't do it. You could study, the city of Beverly, each student receives around $3,500 apiece from the state. If you're a student that's in Lawrence, each student there is receiving almost $21,000. It's a huge, huge difference. And that can compare their education to ours. There's no proof there, and you can study other schools. There's no proof that how much, if you get more money, that it shows they're getting a better education. So that's totally, if they're saying that, that's totally false.
I'll tell you, a couple of months ago, I was at Jersey Mike's. I get a sub. Let's just say it was $15.46, okay? So I gave the cashier $20.06, okay? Because I didn't want any more pennies.
Yes.
She didn't type it into the register right. She had no idea how to give me change. No idea how to do the math to give me. She doesn't know how to, count change back. Nothing. This is what our education system is today. I'll bet you if you ask a senior in high school, what is a verb? They'll have no idea. I mean, what is going on with our education? But we're spending a lot of money, but you know what the money's going to? Administrators.
That's what they say. It's huge. I think if we have 700 to 900 individuals employed in the Beverly School District, and I believe 396 may be teachers. So that's the teachers. That's the priority that needs to be taking place. With technology now, we probably don't need half those administrators. So
Yeah, we don't.
Right. So it's kind of like a saying: if you feed a pig 4 times a day, you're going to have to feed them 4 times a day for the rest of their pigs' lives, because they're going to complain if it drops down any lower. But it has to be given somewhere. When they had doing the financial budget for the 5-year outlook, they were saying that the new students going to get 133 new students. So the deficit was 4-something million. So that's those 133 students going to cost out of the city coffers $2,100,000. So they're saying it's almost $4 million deficit, but it's actually almost a $6 million deficit. And that's because the road and sidewalks that used to come out of the general fund, if you look on the budget, that's been taken out. So what they're going to do on the rainy day fund, that's the debt stabilization fund, but the free cash is going to be around $10 million. They're going to pull the money out of there to pay for the roads and the sidewalks. So if they're going to do that, they might as well pull the $2.1 million out for the new students we have, and then the other $2 million, they can pull it out of there because that's around $10 million. The city stabilization fund, or the free cash, is almost $22 million. So,
No.
and the mayor wants to pull $2 million out of that to go towards to refurbish the city hall, and none of that makes any sense, at least right now with our current financial situation.
Talking about refurbishing City Hall, okay, many years ago I made a suggestion that the city use the old high school on Sawyer Road as the new city hall. And I talked to the mayors about it, I talked to councilors about it. I said, first of all, it's got a nice auditorium for meetings. It's got all kinds of offices there. You could have the DPW in there. You could even have the police station in there. You could have a lot of things in there. There's plenty of parking. Everything was good. So they sell it for $600,000.
Yes.
Now they want to spend, what is it, $25 million?
25, and then if I add the $2 million in that he wants out of the debt stabilization fund, so it may be close to $28 million.
to have a new...
To refurbish?
To refurbish it.
Yes.
First, there's no parking there,
No.
okay? It hurts downtown because there's no parking there. You can't even go get a cup of coffee, for crying out loud. Where are they thinking? What are they thinking?
It doesn't make any sense what they're doing. And somebody mentioned about the McEwen School down on Ball Street.
Yeah.
That could also be used, the city hall, and that should be earthquake proof. That was the excuse for the school, or the old Briscoe School and our old high school also. That was the excuse why we couldn't move in there, because it wasn't earthquake proof. Now, is the city hall, is that earthquake proof? So,
Well, earthquake proof. I'm trying to remember when the last time is we had an earthquake. Did we all of a sudden go to California? I mean, you know, when they built this high school, okay, one of the reasons they said that they built this high school was because the other high school had flat roofs, and flat roofs were hard to maintain, and so the building was damaged. Well, the building was damaged for one main reason. We didn't maintain it.
exactly.
Okay? But guess what? The roof on this building is flat. What did we do? They lied to us again.
Right.
And see, that's the thing. They lie to us. They don't care. The city council doesn't care about the individuals. That's why I really wanted you on the city council. You care about people.
Yes, the majority of the city council, not the whole city council. I think some of them they're heroes. They're coming up and they're speaking for the citizens,
Yeah.
because the citizens are the ones making the sacrifice right now. When you pull out every year with the property taxes, you know, my taxes have gone up a couple hundred. I seen my last bill. It's everybody's getting hit, and so we have to take, you know, in our households, we have to give up stuff.
Right.
Well, unfortunately, with the city, I don't want to see layoffs, but they came up with the almost $4 million in the deficit. That's going to take away. It was 39 employees was what they talked about there, and then it would be 9 employees because you got to pay them unemployment. So a total of 45 employees. The 9 would come from around the city hall, and Brendan Sweeney, he had an idea that we could 9 individuals in the city hall. We wouldn't need them, and somebody else would get additional duties to take their positions. And then the schools would lose 36 individuals, unfortunately. But don't go after the special needs in the schools. You never get rid of that. Extracurricular activities, which should be paid for out of our taxes, the children have to pay for those now. Those are increasing also.
Well, Brendan was certainly the better candidate. There's no question he was the better candidate.
No doubt, his job. He deals
Yeah.
with finance.
Yep.
So right there, you knew.
And I hope he runs again, but unfortunately, it's going to be 4 years from now that we're stuck with what we have.
Exactly.
And it's, from my perspective, with experiences that I've had, City Hall is useless. They don't care about the people. And I'm getting pretty frustrated with it. You know, as I was telling you before the show, I'm president of an organization, and when I had people on the board that when we needed new people, I made sure that we had a variety of people that thought differently than I did. Because when we have a discussion, I want to have all kinds of sides coming in, giving me all different ideas so that we can compromise and make the right decision.
Yes. And there's
Okay.
things we don't think about. Something out in left field, it's something that nobody ever thought about. All of a sudden, all those individuals are involved. Boom, something comes out of that. Everyone getting together, we can figure something out, and we work together.
But Cahill won't do that.
No, unfortunately, no.
You know, he won't even talk to me. I've emailed him. I've asked him to be on the show. I've been to his office. No, he won't even talk to me.
You've been doing this for decades, so inside and out, you know how it works.
Yeah.
And you're doing the perfect thing right now with doing the interviews and talking about the city, because you're informing people. You're informing the citizens.
Well, that's what I figure my job is, to inform people. You do something good, I'm going to tell them that something was done well. But I haven't seen it lately.
No.
You know, my understanding is we have contracts in the city that guarantee overtime. We have contracts in the city that guarantee a raise every year Well, wait a minute. In the real world, no one's guaranteed anything in a job. But that's costing the taxpayer, you and I and everybody watching the show, it's costing us money. And is it valuable money? Can we afford it? But see, the current administration says, well, we'll just raise taxes. Let's talk about the possibility of a 2.5 override, because that's what we're hearing now, is that there's going to be a 2.5 override to take care of all the budget problems. How do you feel about that?
That's more money out of the economy. The government's taking the money from the citizens again, which can't be used in the local economy and anywhere else. And if they physically can't manage this town of Beverly correctly, or the city of Beverly correctly, that's on them. That's not on us. That's not our fault.
I mean, we get an increase in taxes of 2.5% a year as it is, and they want us to pay more than that?
Yeah, and in our paychecks, do we get 2.5% every year increase in our paychecks?
We don't even get raises every year.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
I mean, I work on commission, okay? So with commission, it's how much I sell. Now, if I don't have a good year selling because of the economy, because the people can't afford to buy what I sell,
Right.
What's that do to my income?
You get less, and your taxes still go up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like an automatic thing.
Yes.
Our kids aren't getting educated, and I don't know where to go with this.
Right. And that's almost half our budget is with the schools.
Right. Yeah, the schools are half the budget. They're not getting educated. But you know, one thing that Trump did that I'm in favor of is getting rid of the Department of Education. And I'll tell you why. The Department of Education came into being under Jimmy Carter's administration. Before Jimmy Carter's administration, the United States was one of the top 10 countries in the world with quality education. Okay? Now we're about 35th. So what's happened is we have a Department of Education. Our quality of education's gone down. We have a heck of a lot more administrators, but we're not teaching the kids.
Right.
So getting rid of the Department of Education, I think, was a good thing. How do you feel about that?
Well, those monies would, it's a good idea, although those monies would go directly to the states now.
Right.
Versus trying to figure, the money it costs just to run that organization is millions and millions and millions, versus just give the money to the states according to their population, that they were born in the United States, that they get that money and the state works that money out. Kind of like what they do here, but the Chapter 70 law is broken, completely broken. They need to get rid of that, treat every student equal. Last fiscal year, each student should have got $8,088 apiece. So they're stealing from Beverly. We're going to lose last year we lost $20.5 million in educational funds because the state took it and gave it to failing cities. The state should fight for that, but that was Mayor Cahill. He was part of that Chapter 70 law back in 1993. We lost about $8 million in our budget that next year because that came into effect. So that's when Mayor Scanlon ran that year. So I believe it was $8 million. So that took that money out of our community. So we've lost probably $250 million in education money through the years. We can't maintain our roads, our sidewalks, infrastructure's failing. So that was huge when they did that.
Yeah.
If your city's failing, the city takes it over through receivership, which they did do in Lawrence at one time. Mr. Perry's a great guy. He helps out with our finances. He knows everything inside and out. But that needs to be taken care of, where, every student's treated equal. Our monies stay in our city, because every student that pops up in Beverly, it's costing the taxpayer $15,700 apiece. Gets sucked right out of the city coffers. And again, like I was saying, we got 133 new students this year, which will give us 4,600 students. And with those monies being pulled out, that's hurting us.
Well, the people that decided on this building here, they built the building too small. There's no room for growth in this building.
No, 1,300 students.
Yeah. there's just no room for growth. So I don't know, I mean, you're building a new building, make it big enough for the future, but no. See, they don't think. And then, I mean, you know, I've run for office a couple of times.
Yes.
And I've lost. You know, the liberals don't want to hear what we have to say.
Right.
It's really that simple. The word compromise doesn't exist in their vocabulary. The ability to listen doesn't exist in their vocabulary.
Oh, definitely.
But let me ask you one other thing,
Yes.
because I'm cranky about this as well.
Okay.
Okay. Ever since Peter Fortunato was mayor, I've talked to every mayor about the fact that Beverly is the birthplace of the American Navy, and we should build a replica of the ship Hannah, put it on Glover's Wharf. Marblehead will get mad, which is good, because the ship Hannah was built in Marblehead, but it was launched in Beverly, so Marblehead claims to be the birthplace also. So my thought was, you build it, put it on Glover's Wharf, sail it from Glover's Wharf to Marblehead where it was built, back here, and you have a sailing vessel that's going to bring hundreds or thousands of tourists into the city. We'll have hotels bringing money in. We'll have people spending money downtown. Not one mayor, not one, has thought about it. Now, I was working with Todd Rotundo. Todd is, he is very interested in the idea of building a ship Hannah. I've got somebody who can build it and has all the specs for it. You need to raise a lot of money, but of course, I didn't get elected. Then my wife got sick. My priority was taking care of her, so I couldn't work with Todd on it. But can you imagine, this is the 250th anniversary of the United States. George Washington sailed the Hannah in Beverly, Massachusetts, and nobody knows?
George Washington actually sent orders out that specifically retrofitted that ship with the cannons. So it wasn't even a warship when it came from Marblehead. When it left Beverly, it was a warship, because that's when we retrofitted it, we made it a warship. So that's actually the first Continental Navy. That's the first warship that left the Beverly Harbor. And they don't push that. The TD Bank has a beautiful model of that ship. Beautiful, beautiful. So it would be great, even to build a boat may be too expensive, but that model, if that could be brought down there at Glover's Wharf, or where we have the old ferry, bring it right there, enclose it so it's sealed, the citizens could actually see a beautiful, beautiful replica of the Hannah.
A local North Shore person can build the ship. He's got the specs. And now that my wife has passed away, I have a little more time. I think I could work on it with Todd. But it should have been done by now.
Oh, yes. Oh, no doubt.
I mean, we're 250 years old, and nobody in the country knows that this is the birthplace of the American Navy? Yeah. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, they don't push it at all. Not at all.
It would help downtown. And you know what happens when you help downtown? You help the city.
Yes.
You know, the city would get more money.
Yes. Because the more the businesses bring in, that's the more that's the more income tax they're going to pay to the state.
Right.
So it's a win-win. But
Yeah. The restaurants will do more business.
Yes.
The stores will do more business. I mean, it's a win-win situation for the city, but you have to have a little foresight.
Yes.
You know, a little imagination.
In the Finance Forecasting Committee, they did 5 years worth of forecasting, but it doesn't look good right now. But like I said, you got to take you got the easy wrong or the hard right, and they have to give somewhere within the city. Don't keep taking from the citizens, as I've said before. And like I said, with the Proposition 2.5, I mentioned that under no circumstances, no Proposition 2.5, because they can figure it out. There's a lot of waste that we have in the city right now.
Yes, there's a lot of waste. I would be willing to, and I'll tell you, Mike Cahill, I'd be willing to work on it to help you solve that problem. Okay? I'm giving you my ability to do that. It can be done.
Yes.
You have to look at the budget. You have to get rid of the waste.
Yes. And of course, I would say the priority goes to public safety and public services.
Yes.
Without those two, the city cannot function.
That's correct.
I don't want to go after education, but with our new technology, you know, how many I talked about some states, they have it's cyber school. You take your classes on the computer, on the internet. And those students that do that, like I said, it was $15,700. We could give them, those students, if they do the computer class, they'd have all sports and extracurricular activities for free, and they'd get $10,000 that would go towards their education when they graduate, if they want to do that, because they're saving the city money. $5,700 a piece they'd be saving by doing the course on computers. And they could be in the classroom where it's proctored.
Yeah. Well, you know, the thing that bothers me about education in general is it's very important to put a picture of the football player that throws the pass for a touchdown. It's important to show the sports and how good our teams are, or everything like that. But you don't show the merit scholars. You don't show the education and how well our kids are doing, because why? Well, gee, some of the kids that aren't as bright aren't going to feel good about that. Well, I'm sorry. You cannot take incentive away from kids to learn, and that's what our school system does. Takes incentives. You don't have to be able to read or write or do arithmetic to go from grade 6 to grade 7 or 7 to 8. You can fail everything and still get going, move to the next grade. What's the incentive to learn?
Right. Not in our day. They made sure you knew what was going on. We never had the MCAS when I was in school.
What do you need it for? It's useless.
You know, it's a waste of money.
Yeah.
The military has a test called the ASVAB, and it's you take that test, it tells you score in every different area: math, arithmetic, word knowledge. They have paragraph comprehension and a lot of mechanical type stuff. But there's key areas in there. They know if you're educated or not. They could on 10th grade they could request that they come on in and they request that test. Then they could see where they're at just by that test. And the federal government pays that. The state pays $0 for MCAS.
Well, a lot of freshmen in college are learning high school English now. We have to get going. The time goes by pretty quickly, you know.
Yes.
But I appreciate you being on, and I want you to win your next election. But thank you very much for coming, and we'll see you soon,
Yes,
Rick.
thank you. Thank you, Elliot.
Yeah.